What's good, YouTube? Back today with another video, and today we're going to be talking about work again. But in particular, we're going to be talking about some things that it takes to be a good worker. Now, first, I've got to just let you know that I do have a lot of work experience. I've worked for the Department of Justice, I've worked for startups, I've worked for Viacom, CBS, Paramount, I've worked for Yelp, I've worked for myself, I have a production company, I've worked for a consulting firm. So I've been a couple of different places, and a lot of these are corporate environments, but I've also held jobs like at Wendy's, at Walmart, at car dealerships. I sold cars for 4 years. I worked at CarMax when I was in college. I worked at Nordstrom. I worked at True Religion. So I've worked in a variety of different industries. And now that I'm at a point in my life where I'm in management, I can tell you guys that there's a lot of things that I wish I had known when I was a little bit younger, when I was 20, 21 years old, coming out in the workforce. And I remember particularly when I was at CarMax, I was really serious about selling cars and I was really serious about making my money. And I couldn't understand why management was treating me like a kid. And yes, they respected me. Yes, they gave me what I wanted and they talked to me. But at the same time, it was like this filter or this barrier that was prohibiting me from moving forward. And now that I'm a little bit older and I'm in a different position, I can fully tell you right now that if you're 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, maybe even all the way up to 27, 28 years old, they're going to view you as a kid. And they're not going to tell you this to your face, and maybe they will. But behind closed doors, when the managers are talking and the CEO and the boss are talking, they are referring to the younger people, entry level, as kids. And you need to know that because I didn't know that. Had I known that they were talking about me behind my back as a kid, I would have been moving a lot differently. And yes, on my side, I looked a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? I've had this beard since I was 13, 14 years old. So they always thought I was older than I was. But at the same time, who you hanging around at work also dictates how you're going to be treated. So I'm going to go through maybe like two things that can change you from being a good worker to being a great worker, or a good employee to being a great employee. I've had several instances in my career where I've been promoted within less than a month multiple times because of not only my character, but because of how I work. So with all of that out of the way, the first thing that I'm going to tell you guys that you need to do is you have to be solution oriented. And I cannot stress this enough. And solution oriented really means look for solutions instead of looking for problems. I don't care what you're doing. You can be a dishwasher, a waiter, a bartender, a computer engineer, a roofer, a carpenter, a utility worker, a construction worker. It doesn't matter. If you are solution oriented, this can take you a long way. So you might ask, okay, well, what does solution oriented mean? That means that if you see a problem, if something breaks, if something's not working properly, someone didn't show up, you can't do this without that. You run into an issue where you're not quite sure what to do, you need to figure out what to do. Even if your answer is wrong, it can be 80% correct. As long as it is directionally there, you're going to be good. A prime example is, I don't know, say you need to take out the trash and there's not enough trash bins or trash bags. Instead of going to your manager saying, hey, manager, we ain't got this, we ain't got that, and telling him what you can't do for him, you need to go to your manager and tell him, hey, yo, we don't have this, so I thought that we do this or maybe this. What do you think? That's what you have to do. You need to go to your boss and go to your manager with suggestions, with recommendations, saying, hey, boss, I noticed that this didn't happen, or this delivery was late, or this deliverable wasn't met. So I was thinking maybe we could do this, or maybe this instead. And they can tell you what to prioritize or what to do or not, because managers are making decisions all day. People are constantly coming to them with problems. So if you're that one person who always seems to be able to solve his own issues, who always seems to be able to come to the manager with a problem and a solution, he's going to remember that. And he's going to say, okay, wow, this cat is solution oriented. I can trust him. I like that he brings solutions to the table because I'm tired of making all the decisions because I'm the manager. They love people who are solution oriented. So if you're young in your career, or even if you're seasoned in your career, every time you run into an issue, start thinking about, okay, what are some solutions that I can recommend? How can I fix this problem? How can I bring it to the manager and say, hey, this is what happened, but I recommend that we do this. That's how you get promoted. That's how you get to the next level. And the second thing I want to talk about is learning to anticipate problems. So if you've been on this job for a long time and you know what's going on, you know the routine, you know this person going to be late, this person always like to order this, or whatever the case may be, You need to get ahead of it and be proactive. So when you have your downtime and you just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, or you're on Instagram or you're on TikTok or whatever, take a look around you. Go through the folders, go through the bins, go through this, go through that. Anticipate what is going to happen, because if you're on a job, odds are that they trust you, odds are that they trust your judgment, and you should trust your judgment too. So get ahead of the problem, get in front of stuff and say, hey boss, I know we have this event later on today, so I was thinking, why don't we go ahead and just get this out the way now? They love that. Not only are you bringing solutions to the table, but you're being proactive and you're thinking about the larger picture, and you're thinking about, hey, how can we be more efficient? How can we get ahead of this problem instead of constantly reacting to things? Because when you're reacting to things, especially as a company, that's how you get slowed down. That's how you get behind the 8 ball. So fellas, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, be solution oriented and be proactive and learn to anticipate problems that are going to arise, because I promise you, your boss is going to love you 10,000 times more if you can solve these issues with recommendations and you can get ahead of issues. 2 more things that I'm going to share with you before this video ends up being way too long is you need to take responsibility for your task. If your job description is this and you're supposed to do this and that, then you do your job and you do it well and you do what needs to be done. And I understand, yes, we working all this, we're working so hard for these companies that are making millions of dollars, billions of dollars. They're not paying us enough. But I promise you, at the end of the day, these things are going to make you a good worker no matter where you go. These habits that you build are going to be there for whether you start your own business, whether you're going on your own venture, you're working for family, you're working at a startup. It does not matter. Even if you want to be an influencer, develop these traits, because you're going to run into real world issues and real world problems. So you need to be solution oriented. You need to be risk averted. You need to think about, okay, how can I get ahead of this? And honestly, stop blaming other people. Hey, if this didn't happen, okay, well, what can I do? It doesn't matter what anybody else does. It matters, what can I do? And lastly, I'll show you with this. I promise you, if you go to your manager and you ask him or her and say, hey, I would love to have feedback sessions with you. I'd love to regularly set up feedback sessions where you tell me what I'm doing well and tell me in what areas I can improve, and I can tell you about what areas I want some additional reps in and what else I'd like to do. Because I promise you, ain't nobody asking for feedback sessions. Unless your job and your corporate environment has feedback sessions already implemented probably years before you got there, and you have to do this annually or yearly or whatever. Go to your manager and say, hey, I'd love to sit down with you once every 2 weeks on a Friday for 15 minutes and just go through the week, what I've done wrong, what I did well, what I could do better, and what I'd like some additional reps in, to make sure you and I are aligned for my future goals at this company and beyond. I promise you, you need to do that, because your manager is going to look at you and put you in a different category than he puts everybody else, because he says, oh, wow, this cat is serious. This cat really wants to learn. This cat really wants to take things to the next level. So you do those things, especially when you're young at 21, 22 years old, I promise you, you are going to be on a fast track to damn near leading that company or leading a company of your own. Because now that I'm in a position of management, all the younger men and women who work there, who are 20, 21, 22, 23, they're not solution oriented. And I understand that, oh, there's not a lot of motivation. Maybe I want to be a chef and I don't really want to go here, so I'm just here clocking in. That's totally fine. I'm not talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to the people who really want to move up and who are where they want to be, already at the company or already in the industry, and want to make something for themselves. And if you are in an environment where you don't care what's going on, you don't care if you get promoted, you're just there to clock in and clock out, that is totally fine. Not talking to you. But what you need to do while you're doing that is playing your escape. Every moment that you sitting in there thinking about, damn, I hate this job, damn, I'm overqualified and underpaid, you need to be plotting to get out of there on every moment of downtime that you have. And these are things that I've done to get me to where I am now. And yes, there's been ups and downs. Yes, I've been laid off. Yes, I've been out of work for a long time and had to get new jobs and completely start over. But nonetheless, all of those experiences and all of these things that I have done and have implemented have put me in a position to rapidly succeed when I am in environments to be successful. So that's where I'm going to leave it, y'all. Leave me a like, a comment. And where do y'all work? What has worked for you? Let me know, because I'm trying to figure out how we can put this thing together and help young people stay in their jobs and make some more money. So if you like this video, then like this video. It helps me to be able to bring more content like this to you. So that's Rick So checking out. Without a doubt, peace. So drop a like, comment, and if you like this video, like this video. Really appreciate you for sticking around this long. Going to be bringing some more content to you soon. Rick So out.